to people and talking to people, even if you're having a one-on-one conversation with people, a small group discussion, they are all forms of communication or providing a speech or giving a speech in public or public speaking. So just to put it across, it's not just having a podium or mounting a stage to talk about. Even your small intrapersonal communication, interpersonal communication are all forms of public speaking. And I believe one may ask, why is it so important to master or to get stronger at public speaking? Why is public speaking so important? Like I tell people public speaking is actually our superpower. And so we have to know that everything that we do, we have to get hold of our public speaking skills. And so to be able to influence minds and spark change in communities, you have to have a hold on your public speaking. If you're thinking of becoming a doctor or becoming a policeman or becoming a meteorologist or a physicist, whatever that you think of becoming, to be able to influence minds and spark change in community, you have to know your public speaking, and also to build credibility, leadership, and visibility. In order to make sure that people understand you very much well, people give you some sort of credit or know your worth in terms of leadership and visibility, you have to actually build your communication skill. Assuming that you won some type of grant or you won a certain competition or you've been called to give a speech in public and then you go there and you are not able to, give it very much well, say all the things that you want to say. It's like you wasted all the time and the resources of the people involved, and you actually embarrass yourself, for instance. So you have to know that public speaking, the one important is to build your credibility, leadership, and visibility. And the last one is to essential in education, businesses, and activism. I mentioned I'm a climate activist, so there's no way I would talk about public speaking or crafting a speech without adding activism into it. Yes, so it's actually essential in education, our career path, and businesses, everything that we do. Public speaking is very much important. I believe that at the end of this conversation that I am having with you today, we are going to learn how to structure a speech and also master effective delivery techniques. We have just less than 10 slides today, and so I am not going to talk too much. I want us to have a normal conversation. So at the end of the day, you have all the questions for me to answer so that I could give you clarity on things that were not clear. Yeah. So So the very first one, so I talk about the structures of public speaking. So the very first one is that before we even talk about the speech itself and everything, if you're going to have a conversation with anyone, you're going to have a conversation with either a large group of people, an office meeting, your class group meeting, wherever you have a conversation, even if it's a school presentation, one key important is knowing your audience. Knowing your audience is one of the most important aspects of communication. I believe I was told that yesterday, where you had foundation of public speaking or communication then. So I believe you have a lot of ideas when it comes to it. So I am not going to give you all the much talk on that aspect of in terms of what is communication and all of that. So we're just going to go jump into this one. So the very first one is knowing your audience. Knowing your audience in the sense that understanding the type of people that you are going to engage. If it's not about the content that you're going to spill on stage, or it's not about the content that you're going to publish to people to read, it's actually understanding the people that you are going to talk to. It can be a written communication, it can be a verbal communication, it can be a visual communication, but most importantly, you have to know your audience. One clear example is that when we take our TV stations, for example, when they're about to showcase a movie, one thing they always make sure is they kind of like give you a sense of the audience that they are targeting. And so at the outmost corner or the topmost corner of the TV, they will write either 16 or you or parental guide to get it. You have they kind of like inform you the type of audience they are targeting. So if the media have actually understood that they have to know the audience they are projecting their content to, you as an individual, you also have to understand the type of people that you talk to or the type of people you are preparing a message to. And how to do this, you have to understand their age, their background, and their professionalism or profession, basically. And so the age is very much important. There was one thing that I learned from one of the workshops that I attended with with USAID, and we talk about systems. And then there was like all activists, kind of like one of our key things is that we are always communicating to people. And to communicate to a society, you have to understand that a society comes in the form of a system. There are different levels of a system, and in that, all the system has different way of communicating to them. You could think of, let's say, you are selling selling paracetamol, and then the drug para, you're selling to a group of people. You go to community. Before you even start engaging them, you group them into various sessions. So we have the kids, we have the young people or the old people, and we have the parent. The information or the communication that you're going to give to the people to give across board is different, but it holds the same meaning. The meaning in this case, if you're selling paracetamol to people, if you're going to tell people about the goodness of paracetamol, the agenda is that we want them to understand the goodness of paracetamol. But when I go to the kid to tell maybe a kid between the ages of 5 to 10 years, I am not just going to tell them, oh, para is a medication to cure headache or take pain away. I have to break it down and relate it to, let's say, cartoons or something trendy in a society for them to understand it very much more. When I get to the people, let's say the youth between the ages of 15 to, let's say, 25 years, I have to also relate it to something that they are much interested in. And then when I get to the older people, say the millennials, I would have to tell them about the goodness of understanding why para is important in human health and all of that. So you have to understand your audience has different systems that you have to communicate to them differently. However, it has to be in the same meaning. It has to hold the same meaning. And so before you enter any room or before you hold any stage, you have to understand the type of audience in that particular area. You have to understand their experience, what the topic you're going to talk about. So taking myself, for example, before coming in, I did understood that you guys have had prior engagement or understanding in communication, of which you did it yesterday. And so when I'm coming here, I am not going to spill all the tea or give all the gist in terms of everything about communication, because I know you have the foundations of communication. So I'm not just going to talk about the body gestures, the verbal communication, the display communication, and all of that. I am not going to put much emphasis on that. What I will talk about is providing a speech. So you get it. You have to know the level of understanding, or the level of understanding in terms of the topic relating to the people that you're going to talk to. There might be some cases that you might not get the full idea of the people. Let's say if you're going to talk to, let's say there's a forum, an agric forum where there are ministers and all of the big people come in, we have universities, students come in, all the professionals come in, you will not certainly know their age. But the good news is that you know their background and the type of sectors they are coming from. And so it helps you to craft certain conversation or craft certain information to give to them. To get it. And you might perhaps get to understand their level of topic, to their level of education or understanding to the topic that you're going to teach them. So it's something that you could actually pick one or two things out from it, and their interest and the pinpoint. So first off, you have to understand that if we are going to talk about national issues, let's say Dumsor, everyone is interested in Dumsor because Dumsor is something that affects everyone. It affects all Ghanaians. And so you have to know the level of interest of all the people and the pain point. How do it affect people? Like the hook beyond it, the hook and in the whole conversation that you're going to tell people about. So first off, you have to understand their background, the level of experience in terms of the topic, and their interest in the pain point, something that will strike them in their heart for them to be more interested in what you're going to teach them. Yes. So after knowing your audience, the next point is to how to structure your speech, and I call it the golden framework. The entire structure of a speech or any conversation that you want to have with people is actually into three different structures. The very first one is the introduction. The second one is the body and the conclusion. I know that we are all familiar with this. If you're a Ghanaian and you attended Ghanaian school, you have actually written tons of essays in primary school and senior high school that are tutors wanted us to capture all these things. It is the same thing. Nothing has changed. I believe that we, in a young age, we did not appreciate the fact that our teachers were making us write a lot of essays day in, day after, all the time. We might probably feel like they were stressing us, but it's actually the same thing. Their introduction, the body, and the conclusion. So the introduction, first off, is to grab the attention and also give a preview of the message that we're going to give to the people. If you're going to, when the music is playing, the very first part is what actually gets our attention. And please, just to say this, understand that giving a speech or having a conversation is the same as singing a song or is the same as music. How you want a music to sound in your ears, how you want music to be sounding so sweetened and sounding so clear to you, sounding so something that you love. It could be secular music, it could be gospel music, any type of music that you love. Compare giving a speech or just say a speech is the same as a music. Just compare that to a music that you love. And so if a music is playing, the introduction, how it actually strikes you, and then you get to understand that it's basically the same thing. So the introduction is to grab your attention and also give you a preview of the message that you're going to give. And so I always tell people that the hook of your audience, you have to actually hook your audience, give them a fact or a story, something more exciting, something more that people would, the moment you say it, people will get stuck to you and they want to listen to you, they want to enjoy the conversation. That is what you have to do. And so it shouldn't be something boring. It shouldn't be something raw. If you, perhaps you're going to talk about the state of electricity here in Ghana, maybe perhaps the very first statement that you have to say or you have to be thinking of is the word Dumsor and how Dumsor have actually made us so measurable. Like you have to tell it a way that people will be interested in you, even if a story that you have to coin and then put it together to make it sound exciting. Just put it together. I don't know how many of us here is on TikTok, but if you're on TikTok and you listen to a lot of stories from people talking about the Poirier speech that they had yesterday, about a lot of things that they had, the moment they start talking, you get stuck to it because it's something exciting. The way they started, someone will start a video and ask and just say, watch how I spent 200 Ghana cedis at Poirier speech yesterday, or watch how I spent 1,000 Ghana cedis in Ghana, or watch how I spent my very first 2 hours in Ghana as a foreigner or as a non-Ghanaian. Something more exciting to hook the people, to get the attention, to listen to you more. And then you introduce the topic. You preview the main pain point of the topic. If there is a gap in the topic that you want to bridge, you introduce it in your introduction. The gap here is something that you have identified in the topic that you believe it could be bridged, or you believe you could be a solution, or you believe it can actually hook the interest of the people. You introduce it. So there is an example that I stated here saying, today I want to share with you why water scarcity matter and how we can fix it and what you can actually do to solve the situation. So first off, I actually mentioned the main pain point of the issue in the statement, which is water scarcity. And then I kind of like introduce you to the topic and draw you inside it at the same time, telling you that what you can also do to solve this particular situation. So basically, this is the introduction. And so you give an introduction that would actually grab the attention of the people, hold them so tight that they will not be left out in the middle of the conversation or in the middle of the speech. The other part too is the body. So just imagine that what we are doing right now with the speech structure is we are trying to build an entire human body together. And so just imagine through this part, we are done with the head of the person. We are now at the body, which is the entire system of the human body, from the neck to the chest, to the leg, to every part of the person's body. So the body actually presents 2 to 3 main points clearly. So at this particular stage, you have to make sure that everything that you're saying is logically structured. It has the entire idea being communicated very well. So it could be in an order that would make meaning to the people. You have to find a way to structure it very well. At this point, you mentioned the problem statement, you give it all the facts and figures that you believe it would back it up to make it stronger. At a case where you are given a visual presentation or having presentation with slides, I would encourage you to add facts and stories and visuals, something that would depict the whole standing or the whole structure of the conversation that you're having with the people. Make sure you mention why it is important for people to listen to you during your speech. And if you're giving a speech to maybe a large group of people, to 2,000s and thousands and hundreds of people, maybe you might not have the luxury of moving across the stage. You may be standing just at one particular stage in front of a podium and giving the speech. At this particular instant, you may not have the opportunity to add all the body gestures and everything to it when you're talking about the body of the conversation. But one thing that you could do is that I tell people when written conversation or written speeches, you are not there to read it out to the people. You are not there to tell the people about it. And so you should give it a life. Giving it a life is making it sound more lively and making it sound as if there is human being behind the words written over there. And so it is not just about them reading words on a paper or reading words on a poster. They have to read it and feel that sentiment or feel that emotion behind each and every word written on the paper. I believe you get it. And so when you're behind a podium or when you're giving a speech, when you're talking about the body, make sure you include everything in it. Make sure you add a bit of emotion, a bit of gestures, a bit of facial expression, a bit of emphasis on everything that you say to make sure that people enjoy everything that you give to them. At the same time, let's compare it to a music. When a music is playing, say Blacko Sherif is playing the music right now, the moment it starts the song, the very first 2 seconds or 3 seconds is an introduction. When he's talking about the main information, which is the body part, within, let's say, the middle of the music, where he sings the chorus, gives us much information, what he is saying. It is more of like he wants us to understand what he is saying, and so he threw more light on the speech or on the conversation, on the speech that he wants to give it to us, on the message that he wants to convey to us. So have it in mind that always when you're giving a speech, you are singing a song, and then the song that you're singing, after the introduction and you get to the body part, you have to make sure there is a clear information that you're giving to the people. Make people understand what you are saying so they can clearly understand you very much well. And then we go to the body. So the conclusion, sorry. So the conclusion is end strong with a call of action. It's actually summarize everything that you're saying, everything that you want to convey to the people. That is basically the conclusion. You have to make sure that people understand you very much well. So it summarizes the key points, reinforce your message, and leave the audience with something to do or to remember. So let's take the same example that I gave about water scarcity here. The very first one that I mentioned is the introduction saying that today I would want to share with you why water scarcity matters and how we can fix it and what we can do. And then when we come to the example, we talk about the global impact of water scarcity. We then give them some solutions that we think it can be implemented, and then how individuals and community can help, which is you and I, how we can also help. And when I come to the conclusion, I talk about how water is the basic necessity of human. And so I say water is life. Together we can conserve, support innovation, and bring change, one drop at a time. So basically I make you people and understand the importance of water. And at the end of the day, I tell you that you and I can do something about it. And so one drop of water at a time can cause a major change in future. Yes. So basically that is the main structure or the golden framework of a speech. First off, understand the introduction being to grab the attention and to preview the message. The second part being the body presents the main pain point of the conversation or the message that you want to give. The last one is a conclusion, ending with a strong call to action to get the people involved. So it wouldn't sound like you came to give a talk to yourself and left the stage with yourself. However, you got there to talk to the people and left the stage with the people by giving them something to actually think about it. Yeah. And then after you put everything together, after you write all your story together and everything, you have to rehearse. You really have to rehearse. I mentioned that the structure, if you put your structure together, it has to sound good. The introduction, grab the attention of the people, the body being the main point, the main structure of the message and everything. If you do not rehearse, my brother, my sister, it's a waste of time. You go on stage and fumble. One thing is that if you pick a topic, or if an individual invites you, or you've been invited to talk at a program or give a speech or have an interview, anything involving communication, and you do not rehearse, you will go there and start fumbling, trying to put words together at the very 11th hour, and you don't know what to do. So it is very much important that you practice. Everything that you do, practice. And practicing wouldn't take too much, it wouldn't take away anything from you. The important part is that the best part is that practicing would actually improve your fluency and timing and reduces anxiety. I am not saying that when you practice and you go on stage, you are not going to feel intimidated, or you're not going to shiver or fumble or giggle or laugh or shake. It will not take it away, but it will reduce it. One important thing about speech is that if you know your content, if you understand what you're going to tell the people, it is easy for you to do it. Even if at a point where you are shaking and peeing at yourself, you know that this is the words I want to say. And before I say it, I am not leaving. Initially, I told you that know your audience. Knowing your audience at the same time is knowing your content or the script or whatever you want to tell the people. And knowing your audience is understanding that you own them. They are there because of you. If you are not here, or if you are not there, if you are not going, they are not coming, because the entire day is actually centered on you, or that particular moment is on you. So at this particular instance, you came because of this particular session. And so if I decide to end it and go, it means I have wasted your time. And you are here because you are spending this particular hour or minute with me because you want to hear what I have to say, compared to whatever speech that you're going to give, or whatever information or whatever thing that you're involved in, communication-wise. Understand that the people are there because of you. And understanding and taking ownership of the space reduces anxiety and actually increases your fluency. The timing aspect is, if you know that you're going to talk about this particular topic, you rehearse. When you go there, there is no time for you to go and think about something that is not needed. There's no time for you to go and say something that's here. So understanding and knowing everything and rehearsing actually takes away elongating the speeches and making it so sound nuisance in the head of the people. And one thing is that if you do not practice and you go there, you will start talking gibberish. You start talking about things that is not important. And if you start talking about things that it's not important, making your conversation so long, people get to be bored. They don't feel the need or the importance of being in that space with you anymore. And so they start taking the attention away or something. Right, yes. And how you could practice or rehearse is, first off, you could actually record yourself and review. I myself, I like to do a lot of YouTube video and TikTok video, not because for fun or anything. First off, I would want to share my life with people, and so I do that. The other part is that I like to talk a lot, and so I want to rehearse. And I cannot get people in my corner or in my house to rehearse to them every blessed day. So the best part is that I record, put it on TikTok, make people watch, give some comments, and that is how I practice. You could also choose to record and keep it in your phone. That is good. If you record it, at the end of the day, you review it. If you're the best valedictorian of your college and you're going to give a speech, before you go, you pick your phone, record yourself, understand, listen to everything, make sure that you are audible. People, you were visible enough in the video. Your gestures were visible. People understood you. You literally understood yourself. If you don't understand yourself, don't think that when you go on stage, people understand you. That is not the case. Understand yourself first before you go on stage. If you go on stage, you could make it make meaning to the people. And even at a point where you are not sounding right, when you get to be asked questions, you'll be able to convey the message to them very much well. I really love to talk in front of mirrors. As I speak to you right now, there's a mirror in my room that I am seated in front. Basically, my workspace has a big mirror in front of me, not because I want to see myself, although I look good, but at the same time, I want to make sure that whatever that I say, I see myself and I know my gestures. And so when I go out and I'm conveying any message, I kind of like imagine in my head how people see me or how people kind of like understand the things that I am saying. Yes. So you practice in front of mirror, you record yourself and review, and also practice in real time with timers. If you are in school, it's a good opportunity for you to include your people or include your friends in the space of building yourself, which is also building your public speaking. In your rooms or in your personal individual hostels or wherever you find yourself, you could call your little brothers and sisters to be in your room. You rehearse in front of them, give them a speech, ask them to give you critiques, critique you, anything that they want to say, they should just say it to you, get their feedback together and work on it. And I always tell people, we are not training ourselves to be perfect. We are not training ourselves to gain perfection. What we are doing is we aim of confidence. If you build your confidence so very good and strong, you will not think about your message being perfect or whatever. The importance or the aim here is that our aim is to be confident of whatever that we say on stage or in front of people. I have mounted a lot of stages. I have mounted a lot of prominent stages. I have sit on a stage with people from the United Nations, sorry, with the Prince of William, the Prince William, Prince of Wales, sorry, Prince William, with our former president JJ Rawlings, with a lot of people that before going on stage, I did not have like 3 and 7 hours to rehearse or days to rehearse. I was called to come and do something. I got there and I realized that I have to sit on stages with these people. And because I know myself and I know how best I can do things, I know I am confident in everything that I say. I am confident about it. I wasn't shaking. I wasn't fumbling. I wasn't doing anything. I was able to give my speech. I was able to tell them the things that I want to say and then go off from the stage. And one thing that people always appreciate about me is that I am always authentic about the things that I do. It's not because I see president or it's not because I see Prince Williams that I am going to change myself to fit in the space or to be in the space. I am so casual with a lot of things. I don't like to fix myself in a box and say I am being all professional and formal in a certain space. I like to be myself. And so wherever I go, people admire the way I give speeches. People admire the way I contribute to panel discussions. So make sure that you are yourself and how whilst you build yourself and also build your public speaking skills and everything, rehearse. You'll build your confidence and you can mount any stage or platform that you get to be invited to. So after putting your speech together, putting your introduction, your body, and your conclusion, you rehearse. Even if you have to rehearse 1,000,000 and 1,000 times, do it. And it is not because you rehearse 1,000,000 and 1,000 times you become perfect or you become good. That is not the case. You will see progress. I wouldn't say you won't see progress. You see progress. But even if you go on stage and you do not do better, your worst days, people will see your worst days as the extreme, as the better, as the best one of it all, because you practice and you rehearse. Please get it. So make sure you rehearse, and rehearse. Yeah. And also, after rehearsing and everything, we have to talk about the stage fright. We cannot talk about public speaking without talking about the emotions and the sense of nervousness that we feel on stage. The moment I mount a stage, I start shaking in my tummy. I start feeling a whole lot of butterflies in my tummy because guess what? I do not see myself to be the most intelligent person in the room. However, I got to be invited in that particular room. So when I mount a stage, the very first 2 to 3 minutes, I am shaken. But the best thing is that there are ways for us to conquer our fears. There are ways for us to calm our nerves. And these ways are the very first one is first of understanding ourselves very, very much more. And I always tell people that if you do not have if you do not have fears or you do not fear anything, that you are no human being. As a human being, in terms of public speaking and conversation, you have to have some fears. Because mind you, we might be thinking of forgetting one line or two. We might be thinking of being judged. We might be thinking of being freezing at the middle of a sentence. And that can happen. I won't say because you practice, it won't happen. It can happen at any point in time. I practiced before coming here. I have been making a tons of mistakes with my comprehensions, with my grammar all throughout. But guess what? I don't care because you know something. I am here to give a speech, and the main message I know that at the end of the day I can deliver. So, in as much we might be thinking that you would forget one or two lines or being judged because we human beings we will always be judging each other or freezing at the middle of a sentence, you have to forget all of that. It would happen. And if you understand and accept all these fears, it is the very first step of you conquering your fears. So first off, understanding or noticing or recognizing all the fears in terms of public speaking when it comes to you. And the second part is that knowing that these and all these things are the things that I fear and knowing the ways that you could conquer it. Some of the techniques that generally that people will tell you is breathing in deeply, visualizing your success, and smiling genuinely. I know people, I have trained a couple of individuals, and then people kind of like feel it's a burden when it comes to smiling. Myself, I love to smile a lot. However, sometimes my cheeks kind of like feels like it hurt. But that do not actually stop me from smiling. I feel like the more I smile, the more I am able to communicate very much well. So maybe you could practice smiling, but if you're not good with smiling, that is fine. The other, I remember a friend of mine back in uni. He mentioned he's a very good speaker. He was part of debate club. He has presented a lot of business ideas. He has pitched to a lot of investors and won a lot of money. And one of the things that he said as his main techniques is when he mounts a stage, he actually visualizes everyone to be naked in that room, and he's the only one clothed in a good attire. So, and with that visualization in his head, he kind of like um, make everyone succumb to him and listen to him. And by doing so, he's able to convey the message and leave the room with a brighter success and all of that. So you could actually learn ways that you think works for you. You might not be good by visualizing someone being all but out or visualizing someone being, you would probably have to find your technique and use it. Myself, I just love to laugh. I love smiling. The other part is that I make sure I look good because if I look good, I feel confident in myself. And make me looking good doesn't mean that if I am going on stage and then Mataritia, I will feel like Mataria Tinti, I can't do anything. That is not the case. When I'm going to have to speak at any program or do something, I make sure I cut my hair, I cut my fingernails, I look very good, I smell good. I my looks feel so much important to me. And that is one way that I use to conquer my fears on stage by looking good. So you have to identify the things that makes you feel stronger and build your confidence and also calm your nerves down and then do it and it will help you improve yourself on stage. And I always say it is okay to feel all the butterflies in your tummy. Just just let the butterflies, fly. Just let them fly in all the ways that's in a good formation, not anyhow, but in a good formation. Yes. Please give me 1 second. Sorry. Hi, sorry. I'm so sorry. My mom called and I have to pick up. Yeah. So make sure allow all the butterflies to fly, but make sure that the butterfly actually flies information, not anyhow. Like omanam room baby. But make sure they fly information as how I have projected on the screen. It has to be in a good routine that people would feel like you are in control of whatever is happening on the stage. Yes. Yes. And also delivering a speech. If you have to deliver a speech in a very good way, in a way that people would listen to you, in a way that people would hear you and enjoy you. I always use musicians as an example, and Blacko Sharif is one person that I do admire very much well when it comes to his music. The way that he crafts his message, the way that he pitches it, the way that he increases tone, reduces it, the pauses, the pace is something that I do admire so very much for. And I tell people that our voices that we use, our voices, our daily voices, the way we talk is an instrument. Our voice is an instrument. You have to play it as how you play guitar. You have to play it as how you sing music because you cannot speak at a very flat tone and feel and think that people would enjoy whatever you're doing. There has to be variations. There has to be a lot of things has to go into it. So you have to master your voice. It is not always about the content that you're going to give. However, you have to also take your voice into consideration. There are voice techniques that I would want to talk about. It. The very first one is the varying pitch, pace, and pulses. If I come here today and then I talk to you with a flat tone, which is let's speak like, my name is Osei to agree something, da 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 da. It's you won't feel it. You will feel like I'm being so raw with whatever that I am saying. But if there is different pitches in it, that is why I am saying compare your voice to music or to instrument. There are some instruments that would play on a high pitch, on a low pitch, on a medium pitch. Just feel your voice whilst you talk to people. Make sure you feel your voice inside you. There's a part where when you're talking about some important topic, there's a part where you have to place emphasis on it to make people know that this is very much important. That is why you are placing emphasis on it. Asantini beka se bohobi like sisudria emayentiasia. Basically, that is what I am trying to say. When you're talking to people, your pitch matters. If you increase your pitch, you can speak on a high tone and a low tone. That is it. Make sure that people feel your vibe. They feel the emotions you feel by varying your pitches in your conversation. And the pace. Naturally, I speak very fast. I speak very, very fast. However, sometimes I try my possible best to make sure that my pace is clear. I am not speaking so fast. I am not speaking with a speed or a cane behind me or all of that. I make sure that I understand the space I am and then go with a good and a smooth pace. There are some paces where a point where maybe you have to speak a little bit fast, you have to speak very slow because you want people to grab the attention, and you have to do all the things that you have to do when it comes to pace. So you have to understand at that instant, this is why you do it. And then the last part is pauses. Pauses is very much important. You cannot just go and rattle and then assume that people heard you and leave the room. That is not the case. You have to understand your pauses. If Blacko Sharif again comes and sings to you with no pauses, even if when they are rapping, there are points where they give you pauses. There are points where they increase their pitch and all of that. So pauses is very much important. If you do not bring in pauses, your information will just go together like everything, bang, bang, bang. It will just be messing up. And the pauses is the columns and the pauses, the full stops, all the punctuation, sorry, the punctuations that you bring in your speech. That is the pauses that I am talking about. So you know you cannot go on stage and say that my name is Osei Tutu Samson, full stop. I come from Ghana, full stop, or semicolon. You can't say all of those things, but the pauses would tell people that here there is a full stop, here there is a semicolon, here there is a bracket or something. So you have to make sure all the pauses, like it comes into it so that people will feel the message that you're giving to people. I think over the weekend or some days ago, there was this trendy video on TikTok about Nike advertisement, and then they gave a certain statement, and I think they missed one punctuation, and it gives different meaning. It says, if you can't do it, do it, which was like, if you know that like the person can do it, why are you saying you can't do it? Just do it. But if they brought in good punctuations or some column or something over there, it would actually make meaning to the people. So make sure that you bring pauses in your speech so that people will not assume that you are just saying anything just like that. And understand your body language. The way you talk, the way you manage your voices, it goes in hand with your body language. Make sure there is an open gestures. Make sure you use your hand. It's not because you're going to use your mouth or you're just voicing, like making people hear your voice. You're not going to use your hands. Even the people that do audio visuals and voiceovers, they make use of their hands, comparing to you on stage and people are seeing you. Don't make your body seem to be dead in your conversation. Make use of your hands. Make sure that people see your hands. Make sure people see your gestures. All of that. Make sure people feel your hands in the conversation. Move across the stage. Go use the platform. If the mic is a mic that you can move around, make sure you move the mic around. Use the platform. Enjoy the stage. Make people feel like the stage belongs to you when you're enjoying it. So make an open gestures to receive people. You can't just go to the stage and fold your arms. It means you are close. People will not come to you. They will not be drawn to you. Open up for people to be drawn to you. Do you get it? Yes. The other part is to eye gestures with different audience zones. Some people would be speaking, or someone will be speaking to a number of group, and then the best they can do is be looking at the ceiling. Man, if we were here if you are not important to you, just go around and do your conversation. If you can't look in our eyes or you cannot look at us, it means we are not important. So make sure that there is an eye contact across all the audience zones. If the room is having 100 people, make sure you do your own division. Spot some people across the auditorium. Make sure that when you are moving to the left side, you are looking towards this person and you're looking in the eyes of the person and across the stage, across the seating of the person. If you're looking at the middle, you're looking at this person, you're looking at this particular way. Find a way, demarcate the room in a certain way that by the end of your conversation, you speak to a number of people. The other part too is a strong posture. I wish I was in a room with you right now to just show you how to stand. But the other way is when you mount a stage, please do not go and be standing as if you are tired already. Like what breath you feel now, you are not interested. We could all attest to the fact that sometimes when you mount a stage or when you listen to some people speaking to us, as our brain the person looks so relaxed. The thing is, the moment you even open your mouth to talk, people start forming ideas in their head based on how you look. And how we look also comes, our posture also comes to play when it comes to how we look. You cannot be in a suit and then you stand on a stage and be looking more relaxed, intimidated, like like you want to sit, you're not interested. You have to look ready. You have to look prepared that you want to talk to the people. You have to look, you are interested. Be given all the vibes that it comes to play when we talk about looks. Posture is very much important. And posture goes with our aura. You have to look strong. You have to look energetic. You have to, everything. And how you'll be able to look that way is the way you stand on stage. So you could go on the internet, you could go anywhere, research on postures on stage, and then learn about them, practice it, and that would also enhance your speech. Some tips that I would give to you to engage your audience is asking rhetorical questions or real questions and use relatable humor or interactive examples. Make sure it is not all boring throughout. It's not all we are talking, you are listening type of conversation. It should be something that the audience can relate to, they can understand you and do it. Basically, that is it. Yeah. Yes. And also, after preparing yourself, after making sure you polish yourself and understanding everything that you do, when you're going to present with slides or visual presentation and everything, there are things that we have to take into consideration. And so the main topic here we're going to discuss here is making visuals aid work and navigating Q&A like a pro. Some people are very good with presentation. However, when it comes to question and answers, they are very bad. And also how we could also avoid pitfalls to make sure that our presentation are very good. We have already mentioned some, but I'll just reiterate it and put more emphasis on it. So when it comes to visual aid, effective slide designs, make sure you have big visuals and minimal text. Use one idea per slice. It shouldn't be a lot of things going on the slides. It shouldn't be too many, like the slides should not make noise. You yourself, when you see it, you should feel the vibe. You should feel like I am doing something good. You should feel like people will be interested in whatever that I am saying. You get it? And so make sure you avoid too many paragraphs. Make sure you avoid lengthy paragraphs. And don't come on stage and be reading the slides to the people. Don't go there and be reading word to word. Maybe making visual aids works and navigating Q&A like a pro, effective slides design, big visuals, minimal text, use one. We are not doing that. If you want to read, the people over there, I believe they are intelligent as you. That is why we invited both of you to be in that room. So it shouldn't be the case that you're going to read to them. If I am in the room and you are reading to me, I will not concentrate it or on you. Maybe if I look at you because I am feeling a bit of pity for you and I want you to feel good about yourself. So make sure that you do not go and read word to word to the people. You could include pictures, infographics, anything that you believe it would be a good support to whatever that you're going to do in terms of your slides to the people. Yes. And then when it comes to question and answers is very much important. My duty here is that I present to you. And then when you ask me questions, it is on to me to make sure that I give you the right answer. I give you answers that you didn't fit. And so I cannot just give a good presentation and then my question and answers, na form. It won't be good. And so we have to make sure that you handle your question and answers like a pro. And some of the tips that you could use in handling your question and answers, first one is pause and listen carefully. I have mentioned pauses earlier by using your pauses throughout your conversation. In this case, or this contest, pause here is by keeping quiet and listening to the person. When someone is raising an argument or asking a question, whatever the person is saying, you have to sit tight, hold your microphone in your hands and listen to the person without interrupting. Even if people are talking, tell them to keep quiet and listen to the person. Because the problem here is that, or the point here is that you cannot answer the question wrongly. It will paint bad pictures about you. So make sure you listen to the question very much well and you give the right answer. Even if you have to write the question in a paper or wherever you have to put it, you have to write it and then give the right answer to the person. And then before you answer, repeat the question for clarity. That is, if you have enough time, you repeat the question for clarity. In a time where maybe the person gave a full question as if he's given a preamble to science and math quiz, you write it down, repeat the question to make sure that that was the question the person asked, and then you give the answer to the person correctly. And make sure you stay honest to whatever that you're saying. If you don't know the answer to the question, you could tell the person, this is a great question. You look into it, give a few information about the question. If you have an idea about it, you give a few information about it, and then you tell the person you look into it and give the person feedback on, about whatever that the person asks. And keep it concise. Oh, one thing is that I'm an Ashanti, and then one thing that we say in our community, or the elders say, is that simply put, just because If you talk a lot, you start saying things that are not relevant. You start saying, you would start painting picture about yourself that you're a liar and all of that. So make sure that your answer is very much concise. If we ask you how much do you bring to school or how much do you bring to the table, it shouldn't be a whole lot about women agenda or men agenda thing. Give a concise example. Concise example doesn't mean give a straightforward example and then go your way. It should be something more people can relate to. And avoiding pitfalls here is not putting in much preparation, speaking in a monotone voice here, or obekasa in a subtle way, or like or voice here very low, ignoring audience reaction. You have to make sure you include the people in whatever that you do. Practice, make sure you receive feedback from your peers, and there is energy and awareness in whatever you're doing. So to conclude on everything that we're saying, or I am telling you here right now today, some final tips that I will leave with you today is that to ensure you have a successful speech, is know your audience, structure your speech, practice delivery, control your nerves, and engage your listeners. And know that we are not born to be good speakers, so we are not born as speakers of today, or as Kwame Nkrumah wasn't born as a good speaker. Nelson Mandela wasn't born as a good speaker. He practiced. He built himself to be the Nelson Mandela that we know today. He built himself to be the Kwame Nkrumah that we know today. And so always practice. Keep these 4 points or 5 points in your head. Knowing your audience, structure your speech, practice every blessed day. All the chances you get, you practice, and then control your nerves and engage your audience. If you practice this, you would be a good speaker and be able to take control of whatever stage you mount. Yes. So thank you so much for listening to me. And if you have any question, I will be so glad to answer you. So Emmanuel, if you're on the call, I leave it to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Samson. Just like Mayor Angelo will say, they will forget what you said, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Yes. So thank you, Samson, once again for such a powerful and insightful elaboration on crafting and delivering a speech. So myself, I like the way you emphasize on the fact that delivering a speech, it is same as a music. Your message must sing. It has to get that form of rhythm, tone, and make the listener or the audience emotional. If I get that right, something. Sorry, you said agree. Hello.
Absolutely. It's you got it right. Don't worry. I think as time goes on, you get it. So don't worry about being good with the name, but try your best to say agree.
Yes. Okay. So now let's open the floor for questions and answers. Just like you know how you want more information on how to deliver a speech, how to craft your speech, how to make the audience feel emotional, how to connect with the audience. I mean, questions are the creative acts of intelligence. Just as Frank Kingdon, an American-born journalist, will say, yes. So for you to really be intelligent, it is about asking questions. So please, the floor is open for question and answers. Please, you can ask your thought-provoking questions so that our speaker, well versed in the act of public speaking, can address it so that you all learn from him. So please, the floor is open. You can raise your hand if you would like to speak, or if you wouldn't like that way, you can type in the chat and I'll read it to the hearing of the speaker so that he can address it. So please, feel free to ask your questions. Okay, agree. Okay, there's a hand up. Okay, okay. So please, you can unmute and speak. Otin Kenneth Nyaku, please, you can unmute and speak or ask your question.
Hello, please can you hear me?
Yes, please, we can hear you clearly.
Okay, thank you very much for this lecture. I would like to ask, in the middle of a speech, supposing you are giving a speech and then in the middle of the speech you found yourself wanting, you get stuck. What is the best approach to this issue? Are you supposed to, what is the best measure you can, undertake to proceed with the speech? Whether to go back, rephrase, or continue, or any other best approach you can adhere to. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so Kenneth, if you presenting or you're on the stage and you're presenting and say you actually forgot a thing or two, you don't you forgot a statement. One thing is that when you prepare ahead of time, you will know how to counter all the crisis when it happens. And when it happens, the best thing first off is to recognize your mistake. By recognize your mistake as, let's say you made a mistake one or two, say you forgot one line or a statement, the moment you kind of you get to understand there is a self-awareness that you missed one or two line, you'll be able to address it. And because you did prepare, you understand the content that you provided. And so you'll be able to bring it or form it in a way that the people will get the understanding. So let's say your aim was to tell the people or to emphasize on the problem of water scarcity in the northern region. And then through the conversation, you realize that you actually missed the point of letting the people know that know the importance of water scarcity. What you can do is that you can rephrase the entire statement whilst introducing the importance of water scarcity in it. In other cases, once you are presenting and you make a huge mistake, let's say you are supposed to say 20 and you say 1,300, maybe Ghana made 20 Ghana cedis. Each person depends on 20 Ghana cedis a day. And then you make a mistake and say each person depends on 30,000 cedis a day. Thus, you can agree to the fact that the mistake is so clear and so obvious that everyone will know. And so you acknowledge it and tell the people that, sorry, this is a mistake and this is the correct answer to this. So that the people will know that you are not just saying anything out of the blue, but this is the right information that you're giving to them. I believe this is a good answer to your question, Otin, if that is fine.
Yes, please. Well noted. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Please keep your questions coming. Okay, so I have a question.
Sure.
So just like my mentor would tell me that how he managed to be a good communicator was by watching others who communicated, great people, great communicators at their own stage. So he kind of watched how they deliver their speech. So my question now is, what are some practical ways that those of us, now you are listening to you, what are some practical ways we can use to watch how someone delivers a speech so that we can learn from them? So what are the key things that we consider when we are watching people deliver their speech so that we can take certain advices and things from them too?
Okay, that's actually good. I myself, I like to watch people and then learn from them. I think recently I was featured in a video with Prince William and a couple of Hollywood actors in announcing the location for A Short Prize. And then after the video came out, I had a couple of people telling me that, oh, you speak like this person, you speak like Prince, you speak like this person. And then I have to go back and learn how they do speak and relate it to the way that I speak. One thing that I would say that when you are watching people or you are learning from people through videos in terms of public speaking, first off, identify what you want to improve. You cannot just go and watch something without identifying the things that you need. If you, let's say, you start watching any video in the name of I want to improve my public speaking, you finish the video, enjoy the video, and the best thing that you learn from the video is by enjoying the video. So maybe what you are working on is your diction and your pronunciation. And that the person that you want to learn from is, let's say, Nana Akufo-Addo.
Hello. Hello, Agri. Are you still there?
Or go for watching that video is by you learn the diction very much for you first of you know your goal for watching the video. So first of know have a goal before you even start watching the video. Know write it down in a book that at the end of my video watching or at the end of the day after watching this video, I want to improve my intonation. I want to improve my diction. I want to improve A, B, and C. So write it down and how, whilst you watch it, you would be intentional about the things that you notice in the video, being addiction, being intonation, body gestures, and all of that. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Please,
You're welcome.
let's keep our questions coming. We have about 2 minutes left. So please, if you have any question, can you let the speaker know so that he can address it for you? Okay, Agri, I have another question. So whilst we are waiting for the participants to have bring their question, I think I can also ask a couple of questions so that to clarify things for all of us to benefit. With regards to questions and answers, you made mention of a session where it touches on questions and answers. So I wanted to ask, how is being a good listener? Because I know that being a good speaker also comes with being a good listener. So how does being a good listener aid in you improving your question and answers performance?
Yeah. So the thing here is that if I like to use examples a lot. If you have ever been to the palace before, I was actually born in the palace. If you have ever been to the palace before, one important thing that we keep emphasis on, one thing that you will notice is that when you go to the palace and then the king is the subjects are speaking to the king, you would have the linguist also translating to the king. The whole thing is that we assume that the king do not kind of like get the message firsthand. There has to be someone translating it to him to understand. We want him to understand it very much well, so that at the end of the day, when he's taking any decision, it should be informed decision, right? And so being a good listener here is that
Hello? Hello? Please, am I the only one who can't hear the speaker?
no.
No, Ima, you are not the only one.
Oh, okay. Hello, Agri. I think we've lost Agri. Sorry about that. Okay, please. So whilst we are waiting for Agri to return, can you please, let's go to the chat box. At least give us one moment that resonated with you throughout the presentation. Give us one thing, that one particular thing that you never forget. That's today, it is a takeaway for you. I mean, you didn't know it was until this webinar or workshop that you got to know. So please, anything that resonated with you, let us know in the chat box. Anything that you learned. I would even want to start with myself.
Hi, Manuel. Sorry, my network was just messing with me. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're welcome back.
Sure.
So
Where did I go?
Yes, I asked the question about being an active listener, being linked to your performance during Q&A session, and you were giving elaboration on that. So
Yeah. So as I was saying, if you are a good listener, you'll be able to address the question in a way and a manner that the person is actually deemed fit. So let's say the person will actually ask the question based on how you deliver the information. And then the person will literally relate it to every word that you said whilst you're giving the presentation. So if you do not listen to the person well, you might think this is the right answer. However, it might not be the best of answers that you're supposed to give to the person. So if it is very much important that you give the right answers to the questions. And then question and answer session is like literally the icing on the cake. Sorry. It's all the good things that you have done so far. The question and answers is the last thing that would crown it and make it okay, why are there? But if you do not answer the questions well and you start flopping, people will be like, okay, you were able to deliver the message. However, when people were asking you questions, you were fumbling. It looks like you didn't know what you were preaching. All the things that you said didn't matter or something. So it is very much important for you to know the right way to answer your question so that people would have full understanding of whatever that you were saying.
thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, someone's Isaac combats Isifu.
Hey,
Please, you can.
hello, please, can you hear me?
Yes, please, loud and clear.
All right. So I'm Isifu Isa. So that's the correction that I want to make, not Isaac. So that's the name.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Sorry. Thank
you. So
Isa.
Can I go ahead with my question?
Yes, please. You can go ahead.
So my question is, we are still students in school and we are not doing presentation for maybe industry people. We only do presentation, a group presentation in class and stuff. So sometimes you'll be given a presentation and then maybe it's supposed to be a group presentation. Somebody have to go and prepare the slides. Then maybe you have to meet as a group before you go and present. But unfortunately, the time can be maybe it can come earlier than you expected. So meaning in the nutshell, you didn't prepare. And then randomly you've been chosen to do the presentation, even though the slide is there, but you have a little research knowledge on the topic. So in that case, since you have been chosen to present, how are you going to maneuver your way to present? You have the slide. Thank you. I hope the question is clear.
Absolutely. Please, your name again.
Isifu Isa.
Isa, okay, I would say Isa. So please, there is no way to maneuver anything. The thing is you have to prepare. If you know you're going to do a group presentation, you have to get yourself involved in things. If the person fails to give you the slides, maybe 20 minutes or 10 minutes ahead of time, get the slides and go through. The thing is, know your content. If you don't know your content, you will give false information and make yourself look very stupid and embarrassed on stage. Way back in school, I actually love presenting. When people get to know that I am part of their group, they are very happy because I am going to let everyone learn how to present. I am not going to be the spokesperson on stage. And people love the fact that I'm making them being more involved in activities. So if you have a school presentation, I know the time could be very short, but make sure you prepare yourself. Get first-hand information. Even if the person tells you, oh, slides in here already, you could ask the person, maybe, or yes, maybe some write-up bill, maybe he or she could share with you for you to read and address yourself, or you want to get yourself involved in making the slides. And by doing so, you get to understand the content. Don't say the time was short. Please don't create excuses for yourself. Even for 10 or 5 minutes, you can get prepared. Even if you master 1 or 2 slides out of 10 or 20 slides, and you do very much well with those slides, people will know that you did well. And one good thing about presentation is that before people reward you, you yourself will reward yourself. That is how our body has been made. Before you go ahead, people go ahead and be like, oh, you did so well. You yourself would say, Isa, I did well. Like, I am very excited with whatever that I did. She gets it. So please, there shouldn't be a what if situation. Try to prepare yourself before you go and do it, please. Even 10 minutes is a good time.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. In the absence of no question, I think we wrap up on today's session. I want to extend a heartfelt thank you once again to Mr. Aggrey Osei-Tutu. I'm tempted not to mention the Samson again. For sharing such valuable knowledge and passion with us today. So today, if nothing at all, you could remember, just keep in mind that being a good public speaker is like a song. Your speech has to be composed line by line, rehearsed with care. I clearly remember the speaker. Hello?
Yeah,
Isaac,
hello.
please, you have a question again?
Oh, no, I want to make some inquiries if we can link up with the speaker on maybe LinkedIn or any platform so that we can keep.
Oh, okay. I think I agree at the latter parts of his presentation show his contact details. Aggrey, can you please
share your Emmanuel, screen? I could share in the screen and then they could have it.
Yes, please. So
I could share in the box for them quickly.
Okay. So please, Isa, you can turn to the box and then wait for it as Aggrey share with us. So to anyone who also wants it, yes, that's his LinkedIn link there, LinkedIn account. That's the link. You can tap on it and it will lead you to his page, connect with him, follow him, and he will connect back. And then you can start from there. Okay, that's his email account. It is Osei-Tutu Samson. Is it 3 at gmail.com? All right. So back to what I was saying. So being a good public speaker is like a song. The speech must be composed line by line, rehearsed with care, and deliver with soul, because it needs to connect with the audience. You need to make them feel emotional. At the same time, it is good for you to be a good listener so that you can improve upon your active listening, so that it will help you during Q&A session. I mean, when you are delivering a speech, don't just think that you are going to talk and talk and talk, and after that you go away. Sometimes that is the mode of the delivery but then expect question and answers. So just as you prepare for speaking on stage, also have to prepare to answer questions. Remember, every speech you give adds a new note to your voice as a communicator. So the speaker emphasizes on this, that keep practicing, keep refining, and most of all, keep showing up. Seek for, yesterday, another speaker also shared with us, seek for more opportunity to speak. The more you speak, the more I believe you will find your speaking abilities. And then together, we can all improve on our public speaking. So please, we look forward to seeing you all again on April 25th for our final session on nonverbal communication techniques, which will also be taken by our very speaker for today, Mr. Agri. Mr. Agri, I hope I'm correct on that.
Yes, please, Emmanuel.
Yes. So just as today, Agri has given us such a powerful and insightful presentation on crafting and delivering a speech, expect same and even higher and bigger on non-verbal communication techniques. So until then, stay inspired and keep your message in motion. Always remember that SP Ghana has more content like this to keep us growing as young professionals, as students, and as professionals. No one is above learning. So keep learning so that you improve always. Thank you once again, Agri, for your time today. And thank you for our leaders of Career Guidance and Outreach Committee for such an opportunity for us to learn. Thank you all for coming, and have a good Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye. Thank you all. Hello, say.
Hello, Ima.
Yeah, I recorded. So there's something like pause or stop. Is it the beginning? We didn't record. I thought because yesterday you started recording, you record again. So, but today I recorded and there's pause, or you also recorded.
No, I didn't record.
Okay, so there is pause, stop recording. So which one do I go for?
This is the stop recording.
So when I use the stop recording, where can I find the recording again?
You selected the record to cloud, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So he
It
said,
should
are you
be-
sure? Are you sure you want to stop recording to the cloud? So yes, cancel.
Yes.